So I'm glad to see you again for Mindful Yoga. Good morning. So our practice of Mindful Yoga, with our intention to release struggles and focus on the experience itself, takes us deeper towards an integrative experience of body, mind, heart, and soul. You're able to move from addressing the physical boundaries to the unconscious boundaries of the mind and emotions. So when we hold the poses, it allows us to enter into deeper layers of tension that are held in the body. And this actively releases physical, mental, and emotional blocks that are not accessible when we're not fully present or conscious. So as I always say, always pay attention to the sensations in your body and just continually feel what's happening and keep all your attention anchored right there into the body. All right, so that's where we'll begin our practice today. So let's sit up nice and tall. Bringing the sits bones down into the earth so we're able to sit nice and tall. Let's just close the eyes and immediately take your attention inside. Just drop inside. Getting to relax the whole body and just witness the softening of the muscles. And just starting with the face, the eyes, and just feel the ripple effect as the face relaxes your jaw, as it ripples down through the neck and shoulders and down through the whole body, through the arms, belly, pelvis, legs, feet. Feeling more and more rooted, and just feeling the expansiveness, the upward movement of our spine. However subtle and gentle, just feel. Slowly deepening the breath. And just feel the sensations of breath filling the belly, through the ribs, through the chest, and the emptying of the body, of the chest and the ribs and the belly. You can begin with your soft Ujjayi breath along with your Durga Pranayama 3-part breath. Listening to the sound of breath and simply feeling all the subtle sensations related to breath. And focusing on your hands, and as you take that breath in, feel the breath as though it can reach down through the hands all the way to the fingertips. And just notice as you send your attention there, the effect. Breath is the link between the body and the mind. So energy follows our attention, and you can feel a little more when you really closely pay attention. Slowly shedding the layers of tensions, physical, mental, emotional. And being fully present to witness what remains. The physical body and the movement of breath, very subtle sensations. And relax more deeply. I invite you to chant the sound of Om, bringing our hands together at the heart. And lengthen up through your spine, roll the shoulders back, bring the chin back, lift your heart up towards your hands. Inhaling deeply, exhaling fully, and inhaling deeply. From this place of stillness, this conscious witnessing place, let your eyes open as you lower your hands. And let's inhale deeply once more as we raise the right arm up alongside the ear, reach upwards. And as you exhale, slowly lower the hand and bring your left ear to your left shoulder, reaching through those right fingers with the palm down. Reach, reach, reach. Take a breath. And exhale, let your head become a little heavier as you reach through the right fingers. Feel the dynamic energy here. Inhaling, reaching the arm back up, bringing the head back up with it. We're once more going to exhale, lower the hand, lower the head, the ear to the shoulder. And this time, we're going to turn the palm away with the thumb down and send your gaze downward with the chin reaching towards your collarbone. And again, take a breath in and exhale, allow your head to soften down as you reach through those right fingers, pressing the arm back gently. On your next breath in, bring your head up and your right arm back up. And this time, exhale, lowering the hand, bringing the left ear to the shoulder, and this time turning the palm upwards and turning your gaze upwards. So the thumb is now pointing back, but with the palm upwards, and we're gazing up. Reach through the fingers as we take another breath in. And exhale, relax into this pose. Stay tall in your spine, but relax your head, neck, and shoulders. On your next breath, reach the arm up, bring the head back up. And exhale, lowering that right arm down. Close your eyes momentarily. In the second half of the pose, we magnify and amplify those sensations simply by witnessing and relaxing and letting it dissipate. And opening our eyes and inhaling the left arm up and exhaling, slowly lowering the arm, bringing the right ear to the right shoulder, palm is down. Inhale another breath. Exhale again, softening your head down, but reaching through those left fingers, not collapsing in your spine, but letting the shoulders be easy. Inhale, reaching the arm up and the head back up. And exhale, lowering the arm, lowering the head. This time, palm is down, and then turning to face behind you and turning your chin down towards your collarbone, the thumb pointing down towards the floor. Take a breath here. And exhale, reach through the fingers as you press your arm back, relax your head down. Inhale, reach everything back up. And exhale, lowering the arm, lowering the head, and this time with the palm up and the thumb back, lift your gaze up towards the sky. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften your body as you reach back and away with your fingers. And inhaling everything back up. And exhale, lowering the left arm, closing the eyes, continuing to again feel. It might feel appropriate to roll the shoulders or shake out the arms, or you might just want to be still and feel, otherwise just be. And opening your eyes or keeping them closed, we're going to slowly make our way down onto our backs. So let's let the soles of the feet come together and let the knees fall apart. Lift your head, tuck your chin a little bit, lengthen out the back of the neck on the floor. And the feet can be comfortably away from the body, just so you can relax. And bring one hand on the belly and one hand on your heart. And again, simply follow your breath and your exhalations draining out always of tensions. Settling into the floor with the full weight of your body. Feel your hips opening here as the knees fall apart. A 3-part breath with Ujjayi sound would be nice to keep calm and soothed. And we'll release the arms to our sides, pick up the knees, bring the feet onto the mat, and take a nice breath in. And we're going to draw the right knee into the chest, interlacing our fingers below the knee. And we'll straighten out the left leg, does not have to touch the floor. We're going to inhale and switch. Exhale, drawing the left thigh into the chest, reaching through the right heel, never forcing. Another deep breath in, switching to the other side. And exhaling, drawing that right thigh into the chest, reach through that left heel. Inhale, come up. And exhale once more, this side. Inhaling, again, reversing to drawing the right thigh into the chest on your next exhalation. And last time on the other side. Exhale, reach and draw the thigh into the chest. And inhaling, lowering both feet back down to the mat. And then we'll take a hold of our legs below the knees or maybe behind the thighs if it doesn't feel comfortable. Maybe interlacing the fingers if that feels right. Or just holding the knees. And let's make small circles with the knees to give a nice massage to the low back. And go the other direction. And release that, and let's bring our hands behind the thighs. For some of us, it might not be comfortable to rock and roll, but for others, it might be good. So with the hands behind the thighs, we're going to inhale and exhale forward, and do a couple more with a nice forceful exhalation, nice ha. And if it's available, we're going to come right up to a sitting position. If that's not right, find any other way to come up. So let's inhale and exhale, rock forward, inhale, nice ha breath. Ha, ha, ha. And again, if it's available, we'll come up to a seated and see how that feels. Good. So get comfortable in your seat. Again, I like to bring the flesh out from the buttocks so we're nice and grounded. We're going to interlace our fingers below the knees or just holding below the knees, either way, whatever feels good. We're going to do a little seated cat and cow. So we're going to inhale and pull on our knees to draw the navel forward, to lift the heart, to bring the shoulders back and lift the gaze upwards. And then exhale, we're still holding onto the knees as we begin to round the spine from the tail all the way up, dropping the chin towards the chest. Continue with your breath. Just harmonize the movement with the breath. Again, deep focus and attention anchored on the sensations as you move in the body. Just feel each vertebra. And then coming back up, stay lifted in your cow pose, and we're going to bring the hands behind us. So we want to keep those shoulders rolled back and down, hands about hip width apart, not too far from your hips. We're going to reach the right leg forward, just rest it down, keep the left foot planted, and we're going to come up in modified reverse tabletop. So inhale, pressing into the hands first, lift the chest, keep the heart open and lifted, and then we can press into that left foot, the right heel, and our hands to begin to lift the hips up. Please don't let the head drop back, just lengthen through the back of the neck, reaching, and it might come back somewhat, but we're not just dropping it back. And now focus here, press down, lift even higher, feel the sensations, not allowing the mind to enter to make any commentary, but just really feeling. And as you hold, breathe deeply and allow the breath to keep you calm and relaxed. One more breath, and exhale, slowly lower down. For some of us, it might feel good to rotate the wrists a little bit here, shake them out. And then we'll bend the opposite knee, bringing the hands behind. Once more, rolling the shoulders back and down. We want to begin with an open chest. If the heart sinks, we don't want to come up any higher. So now pressing into the right foot, the left heel, and the hands. Inhale and begin to lift the hips. And again, keep attention, all attention anchored on what's happening inside. Remember to lengthen through the neck, reaching through the crown. Press firmly into the mat in all points. Feel the expansiveness of the chest as you breathe into the belly, all the way to the top. And on your next inhalation, we can slowly release all the way back down. And we'll come to lying once more on our backs. So again, simply take a moment to breathe and settle and feel. And now preparing for bridge pose. We're going to bend the knees, bring the heels closer to your buttocks, feet together, touching, arms alongside your body with the palms down, and separate the heels and then the toes. We want the feet symmetrical, hip width apart, and even. So by bringing the feet together first and separating, that ought to do it. So preparing for bridge, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, begin to press into your hands and your feet, your arms, and let your hips lift, your tail curling under, and keeping those knees hip width apart, maybe pressing a little more on the inside of your heels. And you might come to your first edge. Breathe here, and as you exhale, you might be able to press and come up a little higher. You might stay here or bring the arms underneath you, interlacing the fingers, maybe rocking a little side to side, bring both shoulders underneath. Not necessary, this is optional. But pressing away with the balls of the feet, down and away, and into the triceps. We're going to lift the hips and lift the heart up towards the chin, creating more space between the navel and the sternum so the body is opening in the front. Keep those breaths deep, smooth, and steady, coming out if you need, but using the sensations in the body to deepen your awareness, to be more present. These prolonged holdings give us that experience, and a lot can come up. Physical, of course, but also mental and emotional, so just observe. Press down, open, breathe deeply, and exhaling, releasing your arms from underneath, maybe coming onto your toes and lowering down one vertebra at a time. And feeling, maybe tucking the knees or lengthening your legs out Every body is different. Then we're going to come into a full body stretch. So stretch out your legs, reach your arms up overhead. You might want to grasp onto your fingers or opposite wrists and pull one and then the other. And really let the shoulders squeeze up into your ears. So we sometimes have unconscious holding in the shoulders that can restrict our breath. Maybe reach a little to each side. And just really get a nice stretch and a nice opening here. And slowly float your arms back to your sides. Bend one knee and then the other. And we're going to rock and roll just so we can come up to a standing position. And if it's not accessible for you to come to a standing position this way, then you can find any other way that works. So give it a try and see how it works for you. We're going to inhale back, exhale forward, and bring ourselves right up to actually a forward fold. So our feet will be as wide as the mat, a nice wide leg forward fold. Outsides of the feet parallel to the sides of the mat, and just letting the upper body release down. So keeping the knees nicely bent. And let's take a breath in and bring the hands behind the back. If it doesn't work for you, you can keep your arms dangling down. This is going to give a little work in our chest and strengthening the upper back. So squeezing those shoulder blades together, inhaling, reaching the knuckles up as we press down into the mat. And exhaling, allowing the arms to fall forward just to your edge. The head is dangling down nice and loose. Maybe nod a little up and down, back and forth. Be sure it's totally relaxed. And feel free to maybe bend one knee and then the other, swaying from side to side. Straightening and bending. Shifting the arms side to side if that feels good. And again, all attention anchored on those sensations. Take a deep, full breath, and as you exhale, release your arms down to your back. Let the fingers release, lower the hands down to the mat. And take a breath in with your fingertips on the mat in front of you or on your shins. We'll come up halfway. Maybe you have blocks and that's helpful for you here. Nice long spine, so press into your feet. The heels will lift your tail. The balls of the feet, the balls of the big toe mound actually will help spiral the inner thighs back and lengthen from tail through crown. Bring your heart forward. Take a deep breath and exhale, bend your knees. Release back down. Bringing our hands to the hips. Elbows in and back, lift the head and chest, press into your feet as you inhale, slowly rise up to standing. Good, and let's step the feet together. And try to keep your blocks handy, the front of your mat, if you think you'd like to use blocks today. So with our feet hip width apart, we're going to bring the hands together at the heart. Inhale deeply, and exhale, lower the arms. And inhale, bring the arms out and all the way up. Exhale, lowering the hands to the heart, bending the knees, and lowering once more all the way down. Drop the head. Take a nice breath in, stepping back with the right foot. Left knee's over the ankle, and we'll lower the right knee down to the mat. You can bring the top of the foot onto the mat if that feels right. Let's bring our hands to the left thigh and bring ourselves up. So we want to adjust our stance if we're feeling pressure in the low back. If the tail is lifting, we want to bring it down and in. If that means bringing this left foot closer, then do that. So make any adjustments you need. Keeping that left knee directly above the ankle. Draw the right hip forward and just resting your hands on your thighs. Take that next breath and exhale. Allow your pelvis to sink down. You might want to take another breath and rise back up And exhale, again, sinking down. Inhale, coming up. Stay focused on the body sensations. And exhale, again, sinking down and finding an edge where you can hold here in a low lunge. Breathing deeply. Feel as though you can squeeze those outer hips to the inner hips, the inner thighs coming towards each other, keeping both hips square. On our next breath in, we'll exhale and lower down, either hands to the mat or hands on blocks, any height. Take another breath in, maybe bring the left foot a little further forward, and we're going to exhale and begin to shift the hips back, let the toes lift. Ardha Hanumanasana. Notice if the right hip is pulling back. Keep it forward. Lift your heart up. If that means higher on the blocks, then higher on the blocks. Inhale, we're going to come forward. And exhale again. We're going hunting for our edge. Shifting back. Inhale forward. And exhale, shifting back. Not letting your spine round here. We're keeping a heart lifted and open. Pull that right hip forward. Draw that left heel right in towards your hip socket. Keep the heart expanded. And now feel the pose with your breath. Just paying attention to what you're feeling in your body. Notice what comes up around this pose. Besides sensations, emotions, thoughts, feelings. And inhale, we'll slowly release, lower that left foot, excuse me. We're going to curl the right toes under, and we're going to turn that right heel back, the left toe in, and we're going to walk our hands over to the center of our mat. Nice wide leg forward fold. And again, bending one knee and then the other. The toes are facing forward. Just shifting side to side. Opening the inner thigh muscles. And then taking a hold of your blocks and bringing them over to the other side. I'm going to turn the right foot to the right. I'm going to walk my hands to the right. And now I'm in lunge on the opposite side. I'm going to lower the left knee down to the mat. This time bring your hands to the right thigh and pressing up. And making any adjustments you need, keeping that right knee over the ankle, pulling the low back in, staying nice and tall, taking that breath in, and exhaling, softening down. Maybe the top of the left foot needs to be on the mat. And coming up on an in-breath, and exhaling, consciously lowering to another edge. Inhale, coming up once more. And exhale, settling now into the pose to hold. Keeping the left hip drawing forward by squeezing those inner thighs a little bit together. Low back pulling in, lengthening through the spine, through the crown, and sending the breath deep. Ujjayi Dirga Pranayama, that beautiful ocean-sounding breath to keep us focused and concentrating. Take one more breath and exhale, lowering the hands back down, maybe to the block, inching the right foot maybe a little bit further forward, taking a breath in, and exhaling, beginning to shift the hips back, letting the toes curl up. Good. And inhale, coming up once more, and exhaling, shifting back. Inhaling up. And now exhaling finally to settle at our edge. Keeping the heart open, drawing the left hip forward, pulling that right heel right into the hip socket, Lift the chest, not letting the spine round. Keep the chin tucked. Breathe deeply and experience the full effect of this pose in this moment. All the sensations in the back of the right leg, maybe in your hips, maybe it's completely in another area altogether. But notice if you're tensing somewhere, this is where we can begin to notice the places of holding, mental, physical, and emotional. Take another breath and exhale. Lower that right foot down. Again, curling the left toes under and turning that left heel back. Right toes come in and walking yourself over to center once more. Let the upper body hang straight down. And pressing a little bit more into your heels. Let your tail lift up. And if the floor is too far away, you can have a block in front of you to come up a little bit. Or you can bend your knees. And inhaling, let's bring our left hand in front of us, maybe 2 feet ahead, and then the right. Rock a little forward and back to balance your weight in the middle. Shoulders are approximately above the wrists, so you want to have them wide enough. Toes pointing forward. And then we'll shift, bringing the right hand underneath the throat. And inhale, sweeping the left arm out and up. Maybe gazing up towards the fingers, but pulling that right hip back. Opening the whole left shoulder here. Breathe. Don't forget to pay attention to your feet, which are pressing. Your tail's lifting, and you're lengthening from the tail through the crown as you reach those left fingers up. Ujjayi Dirga Pranayama. Allow the breath to bring your mind into the body. One more. And exhale, lower that left hand back down. And we'll bring, the right hand back down. This time we'll bring the left hand underneath the throat. Inhaling now the right arm out and up. Drawing the left hip back. Inhale, pressing into the feet, lifting the tail, reaching through the spine from the tail as we open up the right shoulder, reaching up through the right fingers. Deep breath. Listen to the sound of breath. Let the breaths be as deep as you can. Long, slow exhalations to settle. One more round of breath. And exhaling, lowering the right hand back down. And we'll heel toe the feet together. Coming into a forward fold, feet hip width apart. And just dropping the head down and maybe holding on to opposite elbows or maybe not. Be sure the knees are bent so your spine, your upper body, your pelvis can come forward. You don't want the hamstrings to pull your pelvis back. So we bend the knees to allow the pelvis to come forward. Releasing your arms wherever they are. Press into the feet. Inhale the arms out to your sides and slowly come up. And bring the arms all the way up. And exhale, lowering the hands through prayer position to your heart. Release your arms to your sides. Close your eyes. And simply experience this flood of energy in your body. And opening the eyes as soon as you feel ready. Let's step the feet together. Big toes touching, heels a little bit apart, preparing for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Press into all 4 corners of your feet. Lift your toes. It's helpful to really come into a strong mountain pose before this. Lower the toes. Press a little more into the heels. Feel the backs of the thighs lifting to your tailbone. Your upper buttocks down, your tail in. Your thighs lift, lifting off the waist, lengthening. Good. Press down into the feet now and extend up through the spine and crown. Roll the shoulders back and down, fingertips pointing towards the earth and palms facing in towards your thighs or hips. Good. And bringing the palms together in prayer position. Inhaling, slowly extending the arms straight up overhead. If it's available, pressing the palms together, interlacing the fingers into temple, releasing the index finger. If that's not available, just reach straight up. Elbows can be soft as long as you've got that nice reach. Press down to the feet. Inhale, lengthen. Keep focusing on reaching up as you begin to shift your hips to the right and your torso over to the left. So keep shifting the hips right, root that right foot down, press a little bit more and opening the right side body. Pay attention to your right shoulder that it's not coming forward. We want to keep it back, not letting the tail lift, keep it pulled down and in. Breathe, reach, keep reaching a little bit more. Feel the body opening. Notice the sensations here. Deepen the breath, keep the exhalations long. And inhale, keep reaching, come up. And this time exhaling, keep reaching as the hips come left and the torso comes to the right. Arms stay alongside the ears as best you can. Left shoulder stays back. The left hip stays back. And breathing from down into that left foot through the left side. Inhale, reach and come back up. And exhale slowly, slowly. Feel your arms lower, closing your eyes if it's available. Notice all the subtle sensations in your arms, your body, as it completely lets go. And opening our eyes once more. Preparing for balance. So we'll come to tree pose today. So stay in your mountain pose with your feet together. Pull the low back in, tail down, belly in, lengthen. We'll bring our hands to prayer position in front of the heart. Keep the feet pressing down and extend from there. Take a deep breath. And exhale, shifting your weight into the right foot, bend the left knee, turn the left toes out to the side. Find your tree position with the toes on the floor, maybe your sole of your foot coming closer to your ankle, or maybe the foot can come on the inside of your right leg. Wherever you are, really root down in that right foot and lengthen up. If we're not rooted enough, that right hip is going to come out to the side. So we want to press down and get really tall. Let this left knee come down and back just a little bit. Keep the upper buttocks down, the tail pulled in. And you can keep your hands at your heart, or we can bring them out to the sides, maybe bringing the thumb and first finger together in a nice mudra. And we can reach up and maybe lower, bringing the elbows out and back. Inhale, maybe reach up a little bit more, press into that right foot, lengthen up. One more breath. And exhaling first, lowering the hands to the heart. Keep that right leg strong as we release the left and relax the arms. Close your eyes. Experience tree pose. Remembering that the more deeply you can relax, the more you will receive. And opening our eyes, preparing for tree pose on the other side. Vrikshasana. Feet together, mountain pose, everything pulled in and up, nice and tall. Hands together at the heart. Taking that next breath, shifting our weight into the left foot, bending the right knee, turning the toes out, and finding your position in tree pose. That right knee is gently down and back. Keep pulling the low back in. Press firmly into that left foot to keep that left hip level. And staying here or taking that next breath, bringing the arms up or out. And again, coming into our nice mudra, thumb and first finger touching. And soften here. Deep breaths. There might be a slight pause at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath. You'll notice an unusual stillness there. Find the stillness in the pose. One more deep breath. And exhale, first lowering the hands to the heart. And staying strong in that standing leg and releasing that right leg down. Lower the arms, close your eyes, immediately drop back in. And arriving back from full emptiness, remaining empty as we move into our next pose, Trikonasana, triangle pose. So we're going to widen our feet. I would grab a block and keep it handy on the right side and one on the left. And I would put it on the highest height. Sometimes it's helpful to have a chair if the block isn't high enough, or a low stool. So you'll have to figure that out. So let's turn the right toes to the right, turn the torso forward, and turn the left toes in just a little bit. And just as in mountain pose, press into those feet, feel the legs active. We want to keep them active in Trikonasana. Upper buttocks are down and in, lengthening and reaching up through the crown. So we're going to approach this a little bit differently this time. I often see the right side curving when we come over. So we want to keep that side really long. So we're going to reach the right arm up and keep reaching and feel that your ear is still close to your arm as you come over. So we're going to inhale, pull up the energy into the legs, reach up through the spine, out through the fingers, and exhale, reach to the right as we shift the hips left. So try to keep your arm alongside your ear so we keep the body in this beautiful alignment. Shift those hips even more to the left. Keep that left hip back, the left shoulder back. And when you're available to lower, when you've come to your edge, then we'll lower that right hand down without rounding. So we want to keep that length. So we have a block handy. So with your left hand on your hip, we can assist in bringing that left hip back. Pulling the low back in, reaching the tail towards your left heel. Bringing the left shoulder back. Imagine you're against a wall. And then we can bring the left arm up. Good. So we want to keep that right knee straight as much as possible in this pose. So if having a block is not high enough, then you would be better off with having a chair or a low stool, as I mentioned. And breathing right here at the edge. Good. Take another breath. And lowering that left hand back to your hip. Send your gaze down towards the floor with your right hand on the block. Bend your right knee. Walk that block forward to the outside of that right foot. Draw that left foot up a little bit with your toe on the mat and bring that block to where it needs to be so it's below your shoulder. And we're coming into Ardha Chandrasana half moon, standing half moon, raising that left leg up and flexing the ankle. It doesn't matter how high you come, you can keep that right knee bent. And we're bringing, the more you wobble, you can bring that block out a little further to the side. And with the left hand on the hip, we can bring that left hip back. And maybe with the left hand on the left shoulder, we can bring the left shoulder back. So if you change your gaze from the floor, it gets more challenging, but you can experiment and maybe start gazing forward. Maybe bringing the left arm up, maybe not. Doesn't matter where you are, just feel your body. Breathe. One more breath. And exhale, bring your hand back to your hip, bend your right knee, slowly step that left foot back, coming again into Trikonasana. And inhale, lowering your hand to your hip, bending that right knee, pressing yourself up, drawing the right toes in. And let's take a break for a moment. Let's bring the feet back together. And just notice what's present. Sometimes when a pose is challenging, we push ourselves and we say, I can do better than that. And we really go beyond what our edge is, what we're really capable of. And that's where this meditative practice is so important, or comes in handy. And letting your eyes open when you're ready. Let's widen the feet once more, preparing for triangle on the other side. And let's first bring the toes towards each other. Bring the arms out and up. And exhale, bend the elbows into cactus, elbows bent. And inhale, press into your feet, lengthen up and open the chest and press the elbows back just to get a nice heart opener here. And inhale, come back. Lower the hands. Let's turn the left toes to the left, the right toes in part way. Turning the torso to face this direction. All right, finding our mountain pose first, pressing down, lengthening up through the body. Upper buttocks pulled down and in. Belly in and lengthen the waist. Inhale, this time the left arm up alongside the ear. Really reach up, pull that energy up from the floor, through the pelvic floor, through the spine, out through the fingers. One more breath, arm alongside the ear. And exhale, begin to reach now left. Shift those hips as much as you can to the right. We can keep our right hand on the hip to keep it back. Reach, lengthen, get that left side as long as you can. Reach even more through those left fingers. And then exhale, lowering our hand to the block or whatever is available. Keep bringing the right hip back. Bring your hands to the shoulder, bringing the right shoulder back. Reach your tailbone towards your heel. And reach the right arm up if it feels right. Not absolutely necessary. And breathe here. Feel the expansiveness in the body. Keep the legs active. And just notice all the sensations of the body as you press into the feet and lengthen. Also press your fingers into the block if they're there, and reaching through the right fingers. Take one more breath. And exhale, send your gaze down, your right hand to your right hip. Bend that left knee. Walk the block forward as you slide your right foot forward. Find a place where the block works for you. Out to the left side, out to the side a little bit is helpful, to the left side. And slowly bringing our weight onto that left foot, dragging the right foot. And you might be here today, but try to open the body a bit to the front, keeping your gaze downwards. Otherwise, straightening that left leg, flexing the right ankle, reaching through the heel as you extend through the spine. Maybe sending your gaze forward, maybe not. Reaching the right arm up and breathing through it. It's okay to wobble. We're gaining strength. This is a beautiful pose to master. One more breath. Exhale, lower that right hand back to the hip. Bend your left knee, reach back with your right foot. Find your position and come back into triangle pose. One more breath. And exhale, bend the left knee. Step that right foot forward. Come up to standing. Close your eyes. Feel, be. Enjoy the stillness. Be very receptive. Relax very deeply. And eyes stay closed or open. Let's bring our hands to the low back. Step the feet together. Fingertips pointing down right at the sacrum to support the low back. Draw the elbows into the body and back. We're pressing down into the feet and take a breath in and feel as though your heart can reach up towards the sky. Keeping the chest expanded, the elbows drawn towards each other, and not letting the head drop back, but again lengthening between the shoulder blades to the base of the skull as we press the hips forward, and then feel as though your hips as well can lift up towards the sky. Stay firm in the feet. Keep breathing, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, soften. And inhale, slowly release, coming up. Release the arms. Bring the hands to the heart. Take a breath. And exhale, hinge forward, bending the knees, lowering the hands to the mat. And then we'll step back one foot and then the other, coming into tabletop. Let's just do a little cat and cow to release the low back. Inhale, tail lifts, moving through the spine. Exhaling, tucking and rounding. Good. And then coming to a neutral position, lift up your right leg and cross that right knee over the left. So the feet are apart, but we're crossed at the knees. So we're going to take a breath in and exhale, slowly shift your hips back. This is floating hero pose. So it's floating because our hips are above our heels. And then just reach through with your fingers. Breathe through the hips, a nice hip opener. Relax into the pose, every exhalation going deeper. On your next breath in, slowly come up. Bring your knees back, hip width apart. And this time lifting the left knee, crossing the knees, feet apart, taking a breath. And exhale, shifting the hips back once more. And a full breath brings us back up. Bring the knees back. Let's shift to one side and we'll come right down onto our backs, however that feels good to you. Let your feet be on the mat, knees bent. And it might feel good to lift the feet off the mat and take both knees and bring them apart. And as if your knees are steering wheels, you can shift them up and down. And if something else would feel good, just go ahead and do that. Maybe just circling the knees or rocking them side to side. Just notice. And when you feel complete, prepare yourself for Shavasana. So giving yourself the space you need. Checking that your body is aligned, your head and neck and your spine. Sometimes it's helpful to look up and see. We're not always aware that our position might be a little shifted. Make sure your legs are comfortable, far enough apart. It's nice to have the palms up, and I like to lift my chest and bring my shoulders way underneath to really expand in the heart area. Take those first few deep breaths to settle your body down. And you don't have to do anything to relax. Relaxation just happens. Feel every tiny sensation in the body through your arms and fingers, through the legs, the feet, through your entire face. Allow yourself this time to surrender into the moment with all this energy that's been released and shifted through our practice. Allow it to gently guide you to a deeper place of calm and contentment and wholeness and perfection and limitlessness. Coming home to you. Letting go even more. From this place of wholeness and rest, just come back into your physical body, becoming more aware of the body as we feel the fingers and toes. Give a little movement, wiggling, and a little stretching. Drawing the knees into the chest. Gradually coming onto one side. And making our way up to seated position once again. And just feeling the shift from all the doing and busyness of our lives to a more conscious state of being. A little bit more aware. Let's bring our hands together at the heart center, lifting the heart, lengthening the spine, feeling unconditional openness and love for ourselves from our hearts. Please join me once again as we chant Om. Take a deep breath in. Exhale fully. And inhale deeply. And as we feel this connection more to ourselves, let that expand out to others so we feel that oneness and connection to all. Opening our eyes, Jai Bhagwan. Thank you again for joining me in Mindful Yoga today.